Hi, I'm John Smith. I'm a comedian, an actor. I'm 52, and believe it or not, I'm actually really shy, but I love my job. This is my life story. I've been doing comedy for about 12 years now. My audiences are mostly deaf people. Some of them are hearing, but mostly they're deaf. I have 3 children. The middle one lives in Australia. I live with my wife, Claire, and have a stepdaughter, Grace. They're both hearing. I first met Claire at the theatre. We became friends, fell in love, and then got married. I was actually born in Newcastle. Then, aged 1, we moved to Mansfield, where I still live. This is my wife, Claire. So, Claire, this is where I grew up. You know, I was born hearing. I went deaf at about 3½. I got meningitis. My whole family are all hearing, and none of them sign.
Ah, I see.
Hey, it's amazing to think that all those years ago, when I was a kid, this is where I used to play, right here. I have 2 brothers and a sister. I was the second oldest. Everyone else around here was hearing.
And none of them signed?
No, I had no real communication. I had to try and lip read, mime, or use gesture. It was really tough. I'm not blaming them. It was how society was back then. The information my family were given by the education system and the medical profession, it was completely wrong. That's what turned out to be so damaging. I now realise what an impact that had on me growing up and how it led to so many barriers to communication. I had a lot of deaf friends though, and I'd be out on my bike visiting them every day, and at the weekend too. I'd go all over meeting up with them. There wasn't much for me round here.
So you didn't have any friends locally?
Very few. We'd exchange a few gestures as we passed one another. Thinking about it now, it was a real struggle.
So you weren't close with any of them?
No, I felt closer to my deaf friends, and again, I'm not blaming hearing people for that. It was the messages coming from the education department. There were no alternatives. It's really sad.
Yes, really sad.
Growing up, communicating with my family was very difficult, and it was the same at school, trying to lip read and use my voice. That was really hard. I went to Ewing School and then on to William Sharp, where there was a PHU attached to what was a mainstream school. The actual building is no longer there, and interestingly enough, a new school's been built in its place. Can you believe it? We're back here after all this time.
Yeah, you're right.
At our old school.
Unbelievable.
Well, come on, let's take a look.
After you.
So that's the new building.
Yep,
It's incredible, really.
that's right. It's all changed.
Do you remember, the old school building was over there in that direction,
You're right.
and our unit was just over there, and in front of us, what was it again, wasn't it?
Joinery, yeah.
Yeah, and next to that was metalwork.
Metalwork, yeah, that's right.
Amazing. We used to meet up with our deaf friends, and we'd all be signing 10 to the dozen. Incredible.
Yeah, I remember. We had a mixture of deaf and hearing friends.
But in all seriousness, John, what do you think about the education we received? You know, for me, it was not so good.
The thing I remember is the teachers telling us we weren't allowed to sign. We couldn't even lift our hands.
That's right.
Why was that?
Well, you see, in the past, I just used to blame our teachers. It was all their fault. But the more I understood what was happening at the time, and from talking to other people, really it was the system. And the teachers had to work within the system, so we suffered, and in a way, so did they. That was society's view at the time. It was just distorted.
Yes, you're right.
What can you say? And now, looking around, it's all gone.
Yep, gone. Unbelievable.
Wow, everything here has changed beyond recognition. Whew. But I still recall a conversation with one of my teachers, and remember I was orally educated back then, so it was all lip reading, and I said to the teacher, "See those deaf children over there? They're all signing. I want to be like them." And the teacher said, "No, you're not like them. You're an oral deaf person, which is good because you're clever. The ones who sign, they're not as able as you are." And because I didn't know any better, I just went along with it. But as time went by, I came to appreciate the shocking reality of what she meant. I just hope that in the future, education for deaf children changes for the better. What can I say about school? When I look back, the one positive thing was the sport, and for me, that meant karate. I progressed to a brown belt, but then had to quit through injury. I came back to it many years later to find it was the same instructor, so that really spurred me on. And finally, I got my black belt, so be warned. I'm kidding. It's just a hobby. I had loads of different jobs after I left school. I worked as a joiner, not by choice. It was the social worker who set that up for me, so I did that for a while. Next, I was an aerobics instructor. After that, I taught BSL in college. Then I worked for Rotherham Council as an advice worker, supporting people and encouraging them to apply for benefits. Hi there. This is my friend Sharon Hirschman. We worked together during my time at Rotherham Council.
That's right.
And she was best woman at my wedding.
I was indeed.
Plus, she was the one who encouraged me to go into stand-up comedy. I was like, no. But she said, go on. So now we're heading to the theatre, where I did my first ever show. Eh?
Eh?
I'm going to need your help.
I'm sure this is the right place. I'm trying to imagine where the stage was. Where is it? I'm still looking, but I can't find it. Can you remember how you felt all those years ago at your very first show here in Rotherham?
Just want to check, how many deaf? How many deaf people in the audience?
That first show, my heart was pounding, my legs were wobbling, I was absolutely petrified. I was running back and forth to the toilet trying to hide. I just kept thinking, no, I can't. But finally I went on. Do you remember? It was pitch black and there was this spotlight in my face. I walked out in a daze, I was so nervous. Then the rest of the lights came up, I was introduced, and all I could see were faces staring at me.
I've got my itinerary for tonight.
And that was it. My confidence was gone. And again, I thought, I can't do this. But I struggled through it, and now I'm more relaxed and I'm fine.
So since that time, do you feel your life has changed?
My life's completely different now. Like I say, the first time I was so nervous, but over the years I've got used to it and more confident.
Oh, that's good.
I still get nervous, I do, but I've learnt such a lot. It's been an education. It's really opened my eyes to different cultures and other people's lives. Being exposed to all that's given me a real insight. It's been a great experience.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It's been amazing. So where's this stage then?
Oh, I haven't the foggiest.
People are always saying to me, you should get up there and do comedy. And I'd say, no way, I can't. But you're naturally funny. And I'd be, seriously? But eventually I got up and I did it. As a kid, I used to watch Charlie Chaplin and Laurel and Hardy on TV. Then I saw Peter Kay, a hearing comedian, and his routine was all based on observations of everyday life. And I thought, that kind of thing comes naturally to me. So that's how it started.
On the back.
I love performing and seeing people in the audience laughing. So my job is to take the things I see going on around me and I share them in sign language with the audience. A lot of it's visual. I use props and things like PowerPoint. Sometimes I work with interpreters. I've travelled all over the world. Since then, I've moved into acting in TV comedy, and that's given me a different type of work. So it's a challenge. I'm here to meet Charlie Swinbourne, filmmaker and director. Charlie gave me my first film acting role. Come on, let's go and see him.
You well?
I'm good. And you?
Yeah, good.
Excellent. You know, I was wondering, what made you think of me for an acting role in your film?
Well, I remember the first time I met you, that would be, 10 years ago? My mother mentioned to me, there's this deaf man, he does stand-up. He's very funny. His name's John Smith. And I thought, who? Anyway, I didn't quite know what to expect, but when I saw your show, you were just so funny. Your facial expressions, body language, how you related to the audience. I thought then you could act, and later, when I was planning Four Deaf Yorkshiremen, your debut, it occurred to me you'd be a perfect fit for one of the characters. Well, since then, you've just carried on acting, and with support, you've been learning your craft. You even play 4 different characters in Deaf Funny.
Yeah, that's right.
And you've come on no end. You're fantastic. Do you think acting and stand-up are similar in many ways?
Well, that's a good question. I do enjoy acting, but it's very different. When I'm doing stand-up, I can do things my way. Remember, there's no script. I just have a series of bullet points, and my act is based on delivering those routines to the audience.
I see.
But working with you, you'll send over the script, which I have to memorise, and that's hard. Having to rehearse is also very different. Then even before we start filming, you'll say, remember, I want this and this and this. So there's a lot more to think about.
I suppose the key difference is with acting, you're part of a team. There are cameras, other actors. People don't realise how much hard work goes into it. Learning lines, getting things right. There's so much more to think about. And then there's the endless rehearsals. All people see is the finished film. They think it's easy, but it's not. You've had to put in a lot of effort.
Yes, people watch it, but they just don't realise how much work has gone into it. It really is hard work.
Do you think you'd like to do more acting in the future?
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe.
Go on, say yes.
Here I am in the comfort of my home with my family. This is my wife, Claire, and this is my stepdaughter, Grace.
Being deaf meant you growing up in a hearing world, which I know left you feeling very much alone. And then at school, again, you found yourself terribly isolated. Obviously, Grace and I are both hearing, and I can imagine deaf people thinking, why would you choose to go back to living with a hearing family?
What? You mean to tell me, after all this time, you're both hearing? I'm kidding. It doesn't really matter. You both sign, and that's the important thing. You and I met, fell in love, and that was it.
No, you're absolutely right. But in your comedy, you're always poking fun of hearing people. So I can understand how some deaf people might be a little confused why you should choose to surround yourself with hearing people.
You're right. You're both hearing. But when I tease, do you feel hurt?
Does it upset me? Of course not. It doesn't bother me. I'm used to it.
What about you, Grace?
I'm used to it as well. It's just how you are. I know you're only joking and you're funny.
That's interesting. The way I look at it is that I have these two parts in my life. There's the hearing world, and that includes my family, and then there's the deaf world, where I spend most of my time. I'm part of both, and so far they've gone hand in hand. Here I am at Mansfield Deaf Club, which is very much my second home. I've been coming here for many, many years, and I'm currently the club chairman. I'm here to meet a friend of mine, June Cordwell. June's been here forever. Let's go see her. Hello. How are you? Hi. Hello.
Hello.
You well?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good, thanks. You can remember the first time I came to the club, and obviously you've known me all these years. What changes have you seen in me?
Back then, when you were a youngster, you were a real nuisance. You had this baby face and mop of ginger hair. You were a nice-looking boy. The other members were content to play bingo. Not you, though. You wanted to carry on chatting. But that's just how the older generation are.
You're right.
Now you're the club's chairperson, you couldn't be more different. You're kind, helpful, you organise things, and you work hard to make sure everything gets done.
That's nice of you to say so. Looking back, this club used to be ram-packed with deaf people, but over the years numbers have been falling. Why do you think that is?
Well, sadly, a lot of the older members have died. There are young people out there who could take their place, but they don't want to take any responsibility for running the club. I've tried to get them to take it on, but they won't.
Do you think modern technology has anything to do with it? Things like Facebook, texting, iPads, FaceTime. Has technology changed things?
Yes, I think so. It's such a shame.
True, so true.
John's a really good guy. He's tried really hard to develop this club and to encourage local deaf people to come here and socialise.
He's so funny. He's been teasing me since I was a kid. He's a lovely man and a real grafter.
So, that's me finished. My early life was tough, but ultimately, I came out on top. I love you all. Mwah. Stay strong.